Hello and welcome to another Steps of Sussex channel episode. Today is the 17th of October 2020. It is a Sunday and I would like to go through a few photographs which have surfaced and been published online. So these photographs are actually of the inside of Harry and Meghan's new Montecito home, but they are not photos taken from while Harry and Meghan are actually there. Now, these are previous internal photographs, so we do not have any idea how Harry and Meghan have decorated the entire house, only little clips of what we've seen in the backgrounds of some of their videos. So apparently these photographs were actually listed on the rental website Gigster, and that the house could be rented out for $700 an hour as a backdrop for photo shoots, music videos or other engagements, and could actually accommodate a crew of 15 people and a private parking for 50. So there we go. If I just kind of... Should we start on this photo? Yes, I think we will. So obviously this is the outside and what would appear, I think, maybe to be the front of the property. It looks obviously like it's rendered, and there is some ivy growing up the front wall. Doesn't appear to be in full leaf in this particular photo, but I imagine once it is in full leaf, it looks really, really pretty. Obviously done in a kind of, Mediterranean-y kind of French chateau style. In fact, I think it is known as the Chateau. It looks nicely weathered and nicely aged. It definitely looks very, very well established, and I would love to see and know kind of what changes are being made there. But certainly, probably this photograph taken probably more in the winter time. But let us move on to the next photograph, which actually shows the listing on Gigster. It's listed as Montecito Italian Villa, $700 an hour. You can pick your dates. Italian inspired Montecito Villa. Hourly rate shown is based on a still photo shoot with a crew, talent size of 15 or less for a minimum of 10 hours. And if we move on to the next photograph, you can see a little bit more of a close-up look. You can see some lovely Italianate style conifers. You can see some flowers in the beds and what looks like a nice kind of gravel driveway. And I love the shutters. I have to say, I do actually love the shutters. Whether I would have chosen the shade of blue remains to be seen. I would love to see kind of if Harry and Meghan are going to go with the blue or whether they would kind of paint them. I think they would look nice in a really classic white. I don't know. I could see kind of replacing a lot of the flowers in the borders with nice white flowers. I think having a nice white garden might really kind of lift everything a little. And what about redoing the drive in Mal Pink? I definitely want my forecourt done in Mal Pink. Anyway, as I was saying, we have had a little bit of a glimpse of the inside of the decor. So this is kind of what Harry and Meghan have done with the home. We can see obviously those absolutely gorgeous bird nest prints behind them in the backdrop. We can see what appears to be kind of a white couch and very natural shades. We can see a little bit of a wooden kind of stand in the corner to the left of Meghan. All looks very kind of neutrals, and I do actually love the vibe that we have been able to see anyway. So this is like a little bit of a glimpse possibly into their living room. Now let us move on to the next photograph, which is of the pool area, the all-important leisure pool area. Let's start with the house first of all. So from this angle you can obviously see that they have a balcony with a pergola, and it obviously is very, very private. You can see all the trees and what looks like mountains in the background. It's, like I say, it's very, very well established, which I think is quite nice when you move into a new home, and you've got something already there to work with. You can take things out, you can move things, you can add things of what you want. Anyway, the pool looks really nice. I love the stones around. I love the pavias, I should say, around the pool. Lots of loungers, lots of sunbrollies. I mean, it's almost as if you could be on holiday in a French or Italian chateau. And I actually quite, I mean, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with pools and how they are finished off, but I like the colour of this one. Some of them can look too green, some can look too blue, some of them just have really weird colours. I actually really do like this kind of shade of kind of bluey aqua that the effect gives. I really do like it. It's a good size. You could obviously have lots of fun in that pool. The lounges are covered. Obviously, like I say, I think this is kind of not peak season probably, so everything looks a little bit covered and almost kind of shut down, I should say. But yeah, it looks gorgeous. I could definitely spend a while away, a few hours by that pool. Let's look at the next. Oh yes, the trees are actually tall Italian cypress trees. I actually have some in my own garden, but they are not well established quite like that. But yes, the estate is described as having sweeping lawns, tiered rose gardens, tall Italian cypress trees, blooming lavender, century-old olive trees, a tennis court, a tea house. Now, I have seen glimpses of the tea house in other photographs, and it does look pretty cool. Children's cottage and a pool. Again, you can see a little bit closer. The ivy doesn't appear to be in full leaf. I think that's obviously a different type of ivy to the other one that's towards the left. But yeah, I stand with my opinion. I think I would kind of go with maybe one kind of colour scheme around the perimeter of the house, and I think white would look amazing. Let me know what you would do. What would you do with the gardens? I'm very interested to know. Interesting enough, this kind of fascia of the house, it almost looks like two eyes and a mouth, doesn't it? You know the bit I'm talking about. The bit that sticks out. It looks a bit like eyes and a mouth. I wonder what rooms they are on the other side. Do let me know. Right, moving on, we see a lovely hedge. So the chateau is actually 14,563 square feet. You could definitely play a game of hide and seek there. As I said earlier, it's known as the Chateau and sits on 5.4 acres of land and immaculately clipped hedges which border the estate's stone pillared entry gates. Divine and gorgeous, and I've just noticed the lattice work on the balcony balustrade, and also you can definitely see some little canopies over some of the kind of French windows with the little balcony railings. They look really cool. I like them. Yes, I mean, I could definitely see myself in that home. Going on to the next photograph, again just another kind of closer up shot of the exterior facade. So yeah, it does have impressive archways and greenery all around. Let's go inside. So the interior shots, again, I will point out, this is not how Harry and Meghan have got it set up. Whether or not what they've chosen to keep or not, or get rid of, or paint, remains to be seen. But anyway, the interior shots currently here reveal dark wood accents and some what's being described as outdated furniture. Now I have to say, it does look a little dark. I mean, it's broad daylight and the lights are on. So it does look, the wood kind of, I mean, it's gorgeous, but it just looks a little bit heavy. So I would probably say, you know, to zhuzh it up, you might want to kind of have the woodwork painted. And I think it just needs kind of lightening and brightening. And I think, you know, having the kitchen just a bit of paintwork, a bit of TLC would completely lift and transform that kitchen. So I imagine that Harry and Meghan probably would have lightened and brightened a little bit. And yes, they are more than likely to obviously have added their personal touches since moving back in this summer. So, as I've said before, Harry and Meghan have been holding many kind of virtual engagements from the comfort of this home, which has offered a glimpse of their decor, including obviously the neutral tones in the living room. And it was said obviously that Harry and Meghan, when they were decorating Frogmore Cottage, was very White Company, and the White Company is an interior design company here in the UK, which does specialise in very kind of boho, like light and bright and white furnishings. So you know, probably Meghan may have done the same kind of thing with the Montecito home. We do not know. But yeah, I mean, I'm just looking now at what appears to be the library with a kind of very, you know, oldie worldy style sofa. Again, probably just needs a bit of lightening and brightening, I think, a little bit, I would definitely say. So let's kind of continue on, and we have what appears to be the games room. Now, I like this kind of little kind of personal, darker space. Has kind of a bit of a feel of a kind of, you know, old English pub with the beams and the pool table and the pinball machines, and it's very kind of, you know, gentleman's clubby type. You know, whether or not Harry and Meghan would redo that and really give it that kind of old English vibe, don't know, but it's already kind of halfway there, I would say, with how it's decorated there, and I can quite imagine that really would be a good location for a photo shoot or televisual work, that kind of thing. Moving on, we see what appears to be the cellar, the wine cellar. Now, no idea if this actually is down in the ground, but it's definitely a room bedecked with wine bottles, a whole wall of wine. How much of that could you get through, do you think? What is your favourite wine? I wonder. Now we know that obviously Meghan has a favourite wine, because obviously she named the Tig after her favourite wine. So maybe she's got those bottle holders, the wine rack bedecked with her favourite Tig. But yeah, again, just a really nice wine cellar, and you can obviously imagine yourself sat around the table having samples of your favourite wines. Oh, the luxury of it all. Anyway, moving on, we can see some more kind of exterior shots, looking very good. I kind of love the kind of entrance there. I mean, you can imagine pulling up to the residence in your car, going under that arch, looking very gorgeous. Right, now the next photograph is very interesting because it's another kind of look, I think, from a different angle at the kitchen. Again, I stand by what I said, kind of looks quite dark and heavy how it's decorated here, but I think just a little bit of really low cost lightening and brightening would really benefit this property. So I'm kind of hoping Harry and Meghan have done the same kind of thing. I mean, you could even paint the beams, and definitely it could be a much lighter and brighter space because you've actually got lots of light flooding in from those windows. They're not small windows, they're actually really, you know, quite big and substantial. So I don't think this room should feel and look as dark as it does, but yeah, it does look really nice. Now, this room we may recognise, because I think I recognise that fireplace from, if I just kind of zoom in a little bit, I think we recognise that fireplace from some of the video chats and engagements that Harry and Meghan have been doing with the windows either side. So we kind of know what Harry and Meghan have done with this kind of space, so we kind of get the look. But again, it's broad daylight, and obviously they have got the lights on, all of the lights on full. So yeah, again, I imagine that they have just literally lightened and brightened and just kind of made the space and transformed the space into their own. In the next picture, we have a kind of matching fireplace. Obviously, this one doesn't have windows either side, so I imagine it could be adjoined maybe to the main living room. Maybe it's kind of part of the same room, with that being a different segment. But certainly plenty of space to host some lovely dinner parties, maybe Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner. There's talk, obviously, of Meghan and Harry not returning to the UK at Sandringham for Christmas, and indeed having their own Christmas, the first Christmas in their new home in Montecito, with obviously whoever they want there. Most definitely, probably Doria will be there. But yeah, I mean, just, you know, a gorgeous house. I just think it just needs a bit of lightening and brightening. Anyway, here we see Harry and Meghan in the grounds on a beautiful, in fact, it looks, you know, a fairly old bench, so probably something that was left there by the previous owners. So, moving on, we can see a kind of aerial photograph of the home. You can see the children's play park to the left-hand corner. Very handy for Archie growing up. A few palm trees, the mountains in the distance. It is very well set, I have to say. It's very private. Definitely a very substantial building. And as I said before, I think the words well-established spring to mind when we take a look at this property. Again, another look at a kind of tiered hedgerow borders, which I think would actually look very nice if they were planted up with some gorgeous flowers. But yeah, moving on, we can see a little bit more of the driveway. And that is actually the last photograph for now. So I invite you to let me know exactly what you think about these photographs, obviously, of the house before Harry and Meghan moved in. It's important to remember that these are not Harry and Meghan's internal photographs. But yeah, it's just a really, really nice, well-established, substantial mansion home in Montecito. Do let me know what you think. Thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also do hit the bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. Also, please do remember to subscribe to the channel. So, from me in Shropshire, mwah to you all, and goodbye.